Okay, so Terrafly might actually be good now, and the reason for this is because when the PvP 2.0 update dropped, I buffed basically every Loomian stats. Now, I should say most of these changes were to fix stats that were way too low, like Hannibal's range attack stats, but some weaker Loomians ended up getting just an overall buff on top of that. And in some rare cases, some Loomians also got a complete stat rework, which Terrafly's rework is probably the best of them. So now, let's jump into the sets, which I'll be going over 2 different Terraflies in today's video. The first set is going to be an Ambush Terrafly, which we're running 200 melee attack TPs to hit as hard as possible, then we're running 200 speed TPs to be as fast as possible. The 44 energy TPs at level 50 will give us a grand total of 250 energy, which will let us use 1 Drudge and 4 Parasitizers, 1 Drudge and 5 Baneful Bashers, or 2 Drudges, 2 Parasitizers, and 2 Baneful Bashers. And then the 48 health TPs and 8 melee defense TPs are leftovers. And the reason why we're not dumping them all into health is because we're weak to Ice Cold Trap, so we want to make sure that we're running an odd amount of health. For the personality, I'm running Nimble and Brawny to increase my speed and melee attack stats even more so, but if you want to run very Brawny for even more damage output, that's also fine. For the held item, we're going to want something to increase our damage output like an Essence or Shell, or I guess Clutch Plushie would also work if you want to run something like that, but I'm personally going to be using a Toxic Essence. Then for the ability, we're running Ambush, which will double the damage of our attacks if the opponent switched in during the turn that we did attack. And then finally for the moves, we're running Parasitize and Baneful Bash as our best stab options, Rough Up is our strongest coverage option to hit things like Metal types and Bug type Loomians, and then Drudge will let us set up to potentially sweep. Although you could look into switching out Rough Up for something like Wing Slap or Provoke, I guess, if you want to. And now, let's go over the Bug Fever Terrafly, which we're running 200 melee attack TPs to hit as hard as possible, then we're running 200 speed TPs to be as fast as possible. The 44 energy TPs at level 50 will give us a total of 250 energy, which will let us use 1 Drudge and 4 Parasitizers, 1 Drudge and 5 Baneful Bashers, or 2 Drudges, 2 Parasitizers, and 2 Baneful Bashers. Then, the 48 health TPs and 8 melee defense TPs are leftovers, and the reason why we're not dumping them all into health is because we are weak to Ice Cold Trap, so we want to make sure that we're running an odd amount of health. For the personality, I'm going to be using Nimble and Brawny to increase my speed and my melee attack stats even more, but you could switch this out for Very Brawny if you want to hit even harder. For the held item, we're mostly going to want something to increase our damage output, like an Essence or Shell, but Clutch Plushie is another viable option too, but for me personally, I'm going to be using the Bug Essence on this set. Then for the ability, we're running the secret ability Bug Fever, which will increase our melee attack stat by 2 stages if we knock out a Loomian with a bug type move. And then finally for the moves, we're running Parasitize and Baneful Bash as our strongest stab options. Wing Slap is going to be my go-to coverage move on this specific set, since it'll let me hit things like Fire, Brawler, and Bug type Loomians, and then we have Drudge to let us set up to sweep. Although, you can switch out Wing Slap for Rough Up if you want a different coverage move, I guess. Okay then, for our first battle, we're going to be using the Ambush Terrafly first. Okay, so with Ambush Terrafly, there are basically 2 modes you can run with it. You can either lead it off like early game and get some nice damage with the Ambush boosted ability, or you could save it for mid to late game and use it as a Drudge Sweeper, or you could dabble in a little bit of both. That is a chance to lead though. I want to say it's kind of crazy if they decide to stay in, but I don't really have a switch in. I definitely need the Iguana for Land Torch and Zulong, so probably not a good idea to just half switch into that. We could, let me think. They're most likely gonna go for a light type move, so I guess we could go Iguana and then pivot out into Cephalops immediately? Yeah, let's do that. Oh, never mind, they go for the withdrawal immediately into Land Torch. Okay. This is going to get us some pretty good damage. I'm assuming they were predicting Flash and Fleece, so that did like next to nothing, but nah, we're not doing that, okay. So yep, healing, we can go into my Iguana. I'm not going to stay in, I'm just going to click Zip Zap immediately. We're most likely anticipating the Land Torch to stay in, so it can be a slow pivoter out, or they're going to go into Lashent, expecting Flash and Flee. This is why we have Zip Zap now on Iguana, just so this thing doesn't keep switching to me. So, this is actually the perfect team for the Ambush Terrafly, because this is one of the few Loomians that really does not care about Lashent and Luminame. We can hit both of them super effective. I guess you have a Toxic type, I guess that also deals with both of them. So yep, here we can choose between Parasitize or Baneful Bash. I want to say Baneful Bash is probably better because they have Your Snack and Your Soul. If Your Snack switching in, I want to get some nice damage on it, and you never know, I might get the lucky poison. Or, we just do that. See you later, Luminami. I'm assuming they were predicting the Parasitize, but why would I not just click Baneful? Also, it looks like they might not even have Your Snack since they're not switching into it, so I'll take it. With Chienta switching in, I'm assuming Ice type move or Brawn boost here. Mega Punch, that's also fine. I feel like they probably should have gone for an Ice type move, but I ain't complaining. My Cephalops somewhat tanked that. I'm probably going to get hit by a Radiant Rush now and take massive damage. Healing, I'm going to go for Soul Drain. Might as well just rough damage. There's Radiant Rush. We do get knocked out, but it's fine. We do know now that they aren't boots or whatever, so my Ikazune should always outspeed it. So let's go Ikazune and then Zip Zap into Eliguana again. Okay, yep, looks like it's gonna work. It's Lachance. Nah, we're going right back into Terrafly. So yeah, the ambush is just amazing, especially with the Terrafly buffs to its stats as well. It is absurd now. Like, it's actually the fastest ambush user, if I'm not mistaken, and it actually has pretty good melee attack stat as well. And Toxic offensively is one of the best typings in the game, so that is also really, really good for it. I brought Rough up on this one because a little bit more damage, but honestly, for the Your Snack and the Your Soul, kinda wish I had the Air type move, but that's gonna be on the other sets. Okay, this time I'm gonna go for Parasitize because I'm assuming the Lushen is just gonna stay in, which it does, so I'll take it down. I probably could have gone for a Drudge there, to be honest, and just swept the rest of the game, but yeah, I don't know. They still have a Zulong. I might outspeed a Zulong at +1, but I'm not entirely too sure. I mean, it could be Boots, and why risk it? I have an Eliguana. So that's actually great. They didn't bring Your Soul or Your Snack, so Terrafly can just go Unga Bunga mode and just click moves that do a lot of damage. Actually, thinking about the rest of our team, probably could have kept Zulong, or I probably could have kept Terrafly in the battle against a Zulong. This is the only older Loomian that they have left now that I probably have the best matchup for. I'm not trying to take a flare from One Torch, and Chienta can hit us super effective. Here low, we need the Eliguana to stay alive, so I'm going to go into Nemesis here. And because Lachance is gone, I can spam Flash and Flee now. Like, yeah, they could go into Land Torch to resist it, but also this is pretty bad. This is pretty bad. I should get outsped in one shot, I would assume. I do. Okay, yeah, that is pretty rough. Oh no. Well, we just go into Ikazune here. If we can try and waste what? If they go for a Radiant Rush, they're probably going to go for a Mega Punch. I'm trying to like think, can I still win this if I get a Drudge off? I might be able to. I'm going to stay in here, I think, and click Fire Breath. I just realized I have Electro Bursts instead of Thunderstrike. That is a big mistake, but oh well, is getting buffed later on. They actually go for the Withdrawal though, which I'm a little bit surprised about. Okay, I'll take it. I kinda just want to do that again, but I don't know if it's really worth it. I guess we'll go Eliguana. We'll go Eliguana. They're most likely gonna click Zip Zap or Ancient Roar anyway. Elemental Burst. Okay, never mind. Well, I go for Flash and Flee, and I get a free pivot into Terrafly Lun. So yeah, I'm mostly like gonna try and get the Terrafly into the battle now against the Zulong, or I'm gonna try and waste one of their Lumia's energy to get a free Drudge off. That is probably my best win con right now. Okay, actually, I can probably take one hit from Chienta. That's gonna be risky, but I could. But I don't think it's really worth it. I think we just go Ikazune here and click Flash and Flee. I think actually Zip Zap. I think I want more damage on the Chienta rather than anything. Okay, that's good damage. They're most likely going to go for Radiant Rush here, because they stayed in all Brawn boosts. Mega Punch, okay. Never mind, they went for none of those. I guess that's fine, they might have been expecting the Eliguana. We honestly should not let the Eliguana go down, but I'm just going to click Zip Zap. Eliguana easily beats Zulong and Lantorch, so this is going to be a little bit risky. Oh, I actually got the knockout. I was hoping it would survive that, so Terrafly could just win me the game, but it looks like that isn't going to be the case now. Damn it. But I mean, hey, we got rid of the Luminami and the Lushen. We opened up like all of the walls so my older Lumians can just go crazy. Healing, we can go into Eliguana. If they go for Fade Away, Flash and Flee, Flare, I get a free switch in. If they're Boots or Goggles, I get a free Rejuvenate. There's Fire Breath Flow. Smart. We do go down to that. The Lantorch does lose some health. And then here, we just click a Zip Zap. If they stay in, they faint. If they switch out into Zulong, we can go Terrafly and click Drudge and just hope for the best, I guess. That is basically my plan. So, let's see. Actually, I should probably damage calc this really fast, just to double check if it's worth going for a Drudge or just to hit it. Okay, damage calculate, it looks like a Drudge should be able to just to outspeed Zulong. Not actually sure if it'll outspeed Lantorch. We might. I mean, I am nimble. There's a good chance we might, so I'm going to click Drudge. We should always live a hit. If we get burnt by this, I will cry. Froze also sucks, but it isn't as bad. Isn't as bad. Okay. Healing, I'm trying to think. With the freeze, can I go for a Baneful and a Rough Up? Or do I have to click double Rough Up? Ooh, I think I have to go for Baneful. I'm gonna go for Baneful because I want to make sure that this Zulong actually goes down. It does. And now I have just enough energy for Rough Up, which is fine because Lantorch is so frail, I could flail and it would go down. So yep, we click Rough Up here and that should be the game. Nice. Okay, a little bit sketchy towards the end. I probably could have done this a lot earlier if I just stayed in when the Zulong first came out onto the battlefield. Just gone for a Drudge. I would have got my ambush boosted by KOing all of the walls. And then the only thing left was the offensive Lumias, which after a Drudge, I outsped all of them. So yeah, probably could have done that immediately and saved a lot of time, but oh well. Okay, next up, let's go over the Bug Fever Terrafly. Also, I will say, this isn't a ranked battle. I've done a few ranked battles, and honestly, the Sweeper Terrafly isn't really that great. I don't think I would really recommend it over Ambush. Way better. This isn't a Lantorch. It is a Lantorch. Damn it! I clicked Shatter because I got greedy and I wanted Barbs. I got really greedy, but yeah, that is not gonna work. I saw the freaking mask and I thought, nah, no way it's a Lantorch lead, right? It is, so damn it. Okay, we're fine still. Let's go into Eliguana here and then we can just pivot back out into something else. This team looks decent enough for Terrafly to potentially sweep, so we'll give it a try. But the main issue with the Bug Fever one and why I would say it's overall worse than the Ambush one is because Ambush, you can do it in two modes. You can have the Sweeper one, late game, mid game, with Drudge, but early game, you're getting nice big damage with Ambush. Whereas for Bug Fever, you don't have that luxury, so you're kind of forced to run just the Sweeper version. Although, you are better at sweeping if you can get a knockout with a Bug-type move. So that's the only upside, but other than that, Ambush is just way better. I don't think they had a Light type. No, Plant type I mean. They do have Eclipse though, so I don't really want to go for Flash and Flee. That is Hunter on the field. We go into Ikazune here. I could actually probably go into Cephalops and just get rid of this thing, to be honest. But I think Ikazune makes the most sense. So I'll go into this. And also, this actually just outdid my Lantorch's damage. I think my Ikazune right now has a 6.5 DDTR, so pretty good. Or I probably said that wrong. I think it's DDTR. something like that. They go for the withdrawal low into Land Torch. Yet it does quad resist fire, so not a terrible switch, but you're already like killing yourself because of do or die, so is it really worth it? Like, yes, you're also doing the same thing to my Eliguana, but I have Rejuvenate. You don't. Okay, let's actually see. If they go for the hard switch here, we know my Ikazune outspeeds them, but they go for Fire Breath. This could potentially be a Wildfire one. It is like chunking my Eliguana for a decent amount, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm gonna go for Zip Zap. Not really in a need to rejuvenate right now. We're still like fairly healthy for what Land Torch is hitting us for, and I'm only really gonna be switching this into Land Torch. Although, because I did the big fumble with my Marafe, I can't really Wall Eclipse that well anymore, so we gotta get rid of that thing pretty fast. They go for Withdraw again low into Obsidian. This is fine. Yeah. I could go Marafe, I guess, and just throw off a Metal Blast. I want Shatters, if anything. I want Shatters for nice, juicy barbs, so I can get some nice damage on the fat thing, so my Terrafly has an easier time dealing with them. So yeah, I'm gonna get a little bit greedy. If I can live an Earthquake, I don't. I was gonna go for Shatter. I was really praying that they didn't switch into their, like, Eclipse or their Land Torch. Clearly they didn't, so we'll take that as a win. But yeah, otherwise here, I kind of have to go Ikazune, and I have to click Flash and Flee. This is such a risky playload because I can just go to Eclipse here, right? Is it Eclipse? That is 100% Eclipse. Yeah, okay, so at least now we know they have it. Although it's missing both of its front legs. Interesting. Interesting. We still need the Eliguana. They're most likely going to click Dark Surge here, expecting the Eliguana, so Cephalops should take this pretty well. Yep. And now if they hit us with a Gamma Pulse, it shouldn't do that much, and we'll get a Rageful plushie boost. Glad that critical hit us, and not the Gamma Pulse. That would have been really, really bad. I did almost fumble. I almost clicked Soldier in low. That would have been really bad, but yep, got my Rageful plushie boost. This Eclipse should just get one-shot now. No way this lives, right? Nice. Okay. One ret down, although that would have been really nice for Bug Fever, but it is what it is. Okay, they go into Thunder. Yeah, they could also go for an Electric type move, so I could get my Ikazune into the battle for free. I don't think it's worth it low. We just go for Tsunami. Actually, I can Soldier it now. They go for Thunder Chomp. Okay, could have actually just gone into my Ikazune. Not really worth making the play low, because all I gotta do now is go into my own Ikazune now, and click Flash and Flee. They're most likely gonna go into Land Torch now, but I want to go for Flash and Flee just in case Obsidian switches in, so I can get the most damage on it. So Terrafly can have an easier time dealing with it. So now the biggest issue is, we gotta figure out if that Land Torch is Wildfire or not. Because if it is, that's actually a really big problem. It doesn't matter how many Drudges I go for, it will still outspeed me no matter what. Healing, we can go into Eliguana again. We're just gonna click Flash and Flee. Yeah, we're just clicking Flash and Flee, not even gonna risk anything, okay? Lee honestly could just stay in here and go for a rest, and they'll still be pretty healthy. Because I'm hitting them with a resisted move. Okay, they do go for the withdrawal into Thunder. This is fine, we're getting a little bit of chip damage on the Thunder, although it isn't super necessary, but hey, I'll take it. I just go back into Ikazune, right? I think I do. And we're gonna click Flash and Flee again. The biggest issue is the Obsidian, because I know that thing is gonna just wall us, like, super badly. We click Flash and Flee low, they should stay in here and go for Vice Jaws. They do stay in. We don't knock them out, but we do a lot of damage. It might just be worth, honestly, risking drudging against the Thunder, to be honest. There's Mega Chomp, nice. Yeah, I guess we'll go for the Drudge Terrafly now, because if I don't go for it now, we ain't really gonna do anything with Terrafly anymore. So let's go for it and hope for the best. There's Chile, we should maybe live one? We do. Now, do I outspeed Land Torch or is it do or die? If it's do or die, I'm gonna cry. We can go for Parasitize now to get the double melee attack increase. Love to see it. And even though now we're at +3, you might think, okay, that's a lot of damage increase. The Obsidian still probably walls us pretty good. And that is like the biggest downside for Bug Fever, like, I can't really do anything about it. They actually do go into Land Torch. I'm going to assume that this is, in fact, Wildfire. Oh my gosh, it isn't. All they didn't go for a fire type move. But I went for Parasitize because Land Torch is super frail, so it should go down no matter what. I'll get a little bit of health back. But now this means I can hit the Obsidian with +5 melee attack. The funny part is, watch this still not even one-shot it. Watch this not even one-shot it still. I'm gonna go for Parasitize again, because we want the most damage, and I'll get some health back, so I might live a hit from the Obsidian. Yeah, we don't actually knock it out, but I do get a lot of health back, so I might live a Body Crash. Just barely. Okay, just barely. Now, I want to go for Wing Slap super badly, because I can click another one next turn on whatever Loomian I have left. But I don't think it's actually worth it. I'm going to go for Parasitize to get to +6 melee attack. And then I'm just going to flail the last Loomian. I'm really hoping that this isn't El Iguana, otherwise I just lose. I honestly do not remember what their last Loomian is, so we're about to see. It is Charonix! You don't have parity anymore. Also, you are secret ability, it seems. Okay. Well, it's time to flail. Let's see how much we do with a flail. This shouldn't be resisted. I'm at +6. This should do a lot of damage. Yeah, it does. We are going to Chaos now, though. So, unfortunately, we are going to lose. Because there's a secret ability that'll get 25% of their health back. They do. So now it is up to my Ikazune, which does not beat Charonix, but at least Terrafly did something, right? At least the Terrafly did something. I probably could have easily won this if I didn't throw away Wraith turn 1. I was so confident, like, nah, there's no way they lead off with Land Torch, right? Who leads off with Land Torch? Yeah, clearly Lem. Clearly they did. Here, Flash and Flee number 1. Yeah, it's not enough. Nova Blast is enough to two-shot us, most likely. And yeah, that is going to be game, unfortunately. Oh, unless I get a low damage roll, I should die. Oh, that does suck. But at least Terrafly did something, and honestly, that's all I care about. Although, yeah, Bug Fever freaking sucks, man. It couldn't even one-shot an Obsidian at +5. What the heck?